Welcome in, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hi, Scrolla. Welcome in, everybody. I'm just sharing it out right now. If you guys could do me a favor and hit that share arrow and share the live with your friends, repost it, share it to your stories. That would be great. Welcome in, guys. Happy Sunday. Welcome in, Ashley. Yeah, I base these on actual folklore and actually reported events. So they didn't all happen to me, but I write them in my point of view, so they're immersive. But the folklore and the experiences that are in the stories have been reported. So they are actually things that, like, I don't like make up the creatures or like the places, like most of the time. There's a couple, there's probably 3 that are based off of tall tales that I don't know if are actually true, but they are still reported, experiences. Hi, Possum. Hi, Dennis. Welcome in, guys. Hi, Luigi. Hi, Oh So Very Ordinary. Hi, Lady Rose. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Chedsy. Hi, April. Hi, Brooke. Hi, James. Hi, Justin. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Raymond. Welcome in. Feel free to share it out, to repost, share your stories, all the things. And it is Silly Story Title Sunday. Thank you, Deborah. And thank you, Brandy. So feel free to write your story requests, and if you can come up with a silly story title to go with it, that would be wonderful. And a lot of you guys say, oh, this yesterday you guys provided them for me, and then you were like, oh, that's not, I don't know, that's not even funny, that's not even good. Don't be so hard on yourselves. You guys can be more creative than you think. All of the story titles I got yesterday from you guys, I used, and everybody liked them, and you guys laughed and voted. So maybe, you know, if you don't think you're creative, give it a try. And what would you call the story you're requesting in a silly way? And if you can't think of anything silly, that's fine too. Just write the story that you're requesting and I'll come up with something. Right, Brooke? That one was funny. The sauna, jacuzzi, in the back row at the movies. You scratch my back and roll me. Eating fresh fruit, sweep your woman right off of her feet. Hi, Leela. Oh, Natalie, there is an entire list. There's an entire list of the stories on my Discord page. The link's in the bio, and Justin will share it and pin it for you. But there's a whole list because I add a new one every week. So Lovely keeps the list in check and up to date. But once you come here more often, you'll just learn ones that are your favorites and you can request those. But you can even request ones you've never heard, obviously. If one sounds interesting, you can go ahead and request it and we vote. So it's up to you guys. You listened to Lil Wayne today in minor. I love that, Brooke. Thank you. Hi, Neil. How are you? Oh, thank you, Natalie, for sharing the Discord. I really appreciate that. That's so sweet. Thank you. Hi, Santahua. Hi, Mackenzie. He kept saying Wheezy F baby. I love that. I love that. Good for him. Good boy. Neil, thank you. April, what about Aquatofina? Or Aquatofana? What about it? And April, are you a witch? I'll call you good boy, Skrilla. Yeah, Tofana, yeah. I corrected myself. Yes, Eilish. Me too, Regina. Aquatofana is poison. Oh, you are? She said, and yes, of course. I said, are you a witch? She said, and yes, of course. You know what? I don't have a story on that, but that is a wonderful suggestion. I don't know why I've never thought of that. I would love to do a story on Aquatofana. Thank you, April. I don't have a story on it yet, but that's going on the top of the list. Yeah, I was gonna say, Justin, are you from the 1700s? Welcome in, everybody. My name's Devin, and this is Porch Lore. Hi, big old head of lettuce. How are you? Nice to see you. Because I was alive back then, Justin, and I didn't put up with that mentality back then either. Hi, Lacey. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell oh, thank you for the party, Pony Rage. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. You're not wrong, girl. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you'll find me. Also, all the links are in my bio. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Songbird. Hi, Cassie. Hi, Connor. Hi, Ty. Lisa, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Oh, those are fun, Mamasaurus. Thanks. I've never seen those. Janine, thank you for listening on YT. I love it. Oh my God, Eilish, I've done that before too. I've done that before too. I did that before too, and it hurts. But I was like, whatever, YOLO. Actually, not YOLO, I've lived a million times, but it wasn't that bad. Rolling with the homies. It is a sharp bite. It feels like something bit you. It's but for horses, dude, I'd do it again. I'd do it again. It does give you a fright, doesn't it? It all of a sudden you're like, oh God, ugh. It's very. Thank you, Janine. Oh, you're so sweet. Hi, Sav. Thank you, Tater Tot, for the heart, my earthling. I'm good, Gwen. How are you? Yeah, the horse judged me too when it happened. And I was like, dude, I was just trying to give you a carrot and you're laughing at me. Cool. Cool. Hi, Elizabeth. All right, guys, feel free to write your story requests in the chat. It is Silly Story Title Sunday, so the polls take me just a few minutes longer because I have to come up with silly story titles. After you blew your finger off, James, well, there you go. And I don't even know why I said that because I don't believe in YOLO, but sometimes it's an appropriate thing to say. Because I have, in fact, not lived YOLO. I have YOMO'd. Or wait, YOM. Yeah, that doesn't work. I've lived multiple times. Hello, Beatrice. I love your name. Nod to Shakespeare. One of my favorite Shakespearean characters, actually. Welcome in. Oh, that's a good one, Brooke. That's a good one. But wait, why is it sweater weather, Brooke? Skrilla. Oh, I get it, Brooke. I get it. Yes, I saw them, Fairy Witch. Oh, Amy with the corn. Okay, Elizabeth. No, Skrilla. I was chewing how many she gave me. I was chewing how many. But then once it gets past, like, I'm only doing up to like 5 or 6. I'm not doing 13. Like, that's a lot of chomps. That's a lot of chomps. Why? Do I always do 5? Maybe I do. Do I always... Wait. Is that 5? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I do. I do, and I didn't even know it. And I have no idea why. No clue. But he's correct. Hi, Heidi. Thank you, Jess. And yes, he is our porch pal, Martian. He visits us all the way from Mars. He might say some weird things, but be nice, you guys, because he's an alien. Brooke. I don't know. Valiant Thor was from Venus, and he's kind of fine. And if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, I sure do have a 30-minute video on the visitation of Valiant Thor and how he lived for 3 years at the Pentagon with Eisenhower. It's fascinating. It's in the Unexplained series if you guys want to check it out. I also do the Vulcan hand live long and prosper symbol in the middle of my little news reporty, tell you guys about the thing. I literally do it. Psst. I don't know, Brooke. It's not one I read on the live because it's way too long. It's way too long to read on the live. But it's one of my favorite ones I've ever done. Exactly, Mackenzie. I do it on video. And it's one of my favorite ones I've ever made. I will warn you guys, though, it's before I got a better mic and it's before I got lighting. So yes, the early Porch Lore videos aren't as crisp looking and they're not as polished because I used to have a production studio where they did that for me. And so I had to learn how to make it look okay by myself. So the first batch of couple videos, they aren't the best, but they get the point across. So thank you, Mackenzie. Plus, to be honest with you, I'm really proud of myself. It was really nice to see the growth and the progress I've made, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't just like put it out. Because my friend Taylor, I'm a perfectionist, and I waited like 2 months before I actually put out the first. And she was like, "If you don't fucking put out that video right now," and then she told me, "You will see your growth, and you'll be really proud of yourself. You can't just wait till it's perfect, or you're never going to put it out." So I did, and now when I look back at my older ones, it's actually a source of pride and accomplishment because I've done a lot better and I've gotten better and I've learned more and it's a really nice feeling. So you don't always have to be perfect. You can put yourself out there vulnerable and say, "Hey, I'm growing. I'm working on it. I'm learning." Because guess what? We're always all still learning. Yeah, scroll it. And my face is in them. Exactly, Natalie. Thank you so much. That means a lot, Shannon. I too have anxiety and overthinking, and so I'm glad I can help. I really am. And I'm setting up the poll for us to vote on the first story. Thank you for your patience. It is Silly Story Titles Sunday. So these will be silly story titles. Yes, and my eyebrows. Yeah. Fun fact, I was born with strawberry blonde hair. My hair is auburn now, but my body hair is blonde. It's barely visible, and my eyebrows are not invisible, but they are very light. And the first time I went live, you have to do 3 practice lives for 30 minutes on TikTok, where like you can't really control anything. You just like let people come in and talk to you. And I wasn't used to the lighting yet or anything. And like I said, I used to have people do all that stuff for me. So this girl came in and she was like, "Eyebrows said bye." And then I went back and I watched the video, and the light is so bright, it literally like drowns out my eyebrows. And I had like, it really did look like I had very light, hardly any eyebrows. And you know what? I appreciate that girl because she told me what I needed to hear, because I was like, she's fucking right. And I went and got some eyebrow, like, what is it? The gel. It's like a mascara, but you just put it on your eyebrows and boom. So now my eyebrows don't get faded out by the light. But it's always funny because I still think about her. Eyebrows said bye. Whoever you are, girl. I got my eyebrows back. Thanks to you. Yeah, I've done that before in Scarlet. When I lived in LA, my friend did my hair, and every time I used to dye my hair really dark in LA, and she always dyed my eyebrows too. But like, I'm living in Ohio, and I've been like a hermit for a couple of years, so I don't really give a fuck. I'm not really dyeing my eyebrows anymore. You know what I mean? My hair is my natural color. My eyebrow, I don't really care. So I went and got some stuff. It's easier to just do that when I'm on camera, because they look too dark when I'm not on camera. Does that make sense? It's the light, because when I do it, like if I'm not on camera, they look like, why'd you paint your eyebrow? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a camera. It's literally just camera makeup. Like on the news, we had to use this different kind of like HD makeup. And so it's basically like you just have to lay it on thicker for the lighting in the camera than what to make it show through, or your blonde eyebrows disappear. So, because they don't even really look like, they still are like a light brown, you know? But with the lighting, with the selfie lights and stuff, it's like, whew, gone. right, guys, setting up the poll. Be right back. That's your favorite little story. Okay, you guys, the first poll is ready. We have, whoop, whoop, pull over. That ass too fat, whoop, whoop. And then we have lost without a map. Hi, Priscilla. And we have, oh no, he didn't. And we have Mima, is that you? And then we have stage 5, Clinger. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Thank you, LK. Hi, Khaleesi. Thank you. Hi, Magical Mom. Hi, Batter and Bliss. Hi, Amanda. Thanks, guys. If I missed your gift, sorry, I was setting up the poll. Welcome in, guys. Brooke, I love how every time I look down in the chat, I have absolutely no idea what, but it always looks like you're saying the wildest shit I've ever heard in my life. She just said, now we fucked for over plucking. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds intense. And like, I want to know. I'm like, what? Huh? What's over plucking? The fuck? Like, I love Brooke. She literally has no filter, and it's my favorite thing. Oh, you were talking about eyebrows. Oh, you were talking about eyebrows. Why did I think you were talking about like chickens or like birds or something? Oh my god, you were talking about eyebrows. Okay, that makes so much more sense. I don't know. I thought she was like plucking chickens or birds or something. I don't know. Like some code if you own a farm where like you can't overpluck your chickens. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. That's why I said when I see what she writes, I have no fucking clue what she's talking about. Scarlet. Skrilla, because animals are always on my mind. I love them so much. And the winner is Lena. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. The winner is stage 5, Clinger. There's nothing to pluck, Skrilla. I love how, oh, thank you, Mamasaurus. I love how Eilish says the cutest, like, I don't know, little British sayings. Like, she'll say, I'm in stitches. You're so cute. I love it. I'm in stitches. And like, that means it's funny as hell. Because that's referencing like, You laughed so hard you split your ribs and you had to get stitches. That's funny. Love it. Stage 5 Klingon. Good one, Daisy. Good one. By the way, if it's tell you guys anything about my mom, because I tell you guys about her every so often, and you guys all seem to think she's pretty awesome, which she is. And we went to lunch on Saturday, and there was like the band of one of the local high schools collecting money outside, and my family was a band family. My mom and my sister were hardcore into band and marching band. I was not in marching band, but I am musical. I did teach myself how to play the flute and then joined the band, but then I became a cheerleader and I quit band. So, but we are a band supporting family. So I went over and I gave him some money in his little jar, and I met him. And his name was Prosper, which is like the cutest name. I was like, what? Prosper? How cute. And I thought, like, prosperous, like you know, prosper. And when I went back to tell my mom's like, his parents must be Trekkies. I was like, wait, and my mom's like, live long and prosper. I was like, oh my God, my mom's such a nerd. I never even thought about that. Like, what? Yeah, I guess. And, yeah, so my mom, that's why I like Star Trek, is because my mom made me watch all of the shows that had strong female leads, like Dr. Quinn and Star Trek Voyager. And Captain Janeway was a bad bitch. So that is why I am a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. I've seen all of them, and I don't like Star Wars. And I've learned in my life that you are usually one or the other. There are people that like both, but usually if you're a Star Wars person, you think Star Trek's really fucking geeky. And if you're a Star Trek person, you think Star Wars is really fucking dumb. So, putting it out there, guys. Hope I'm not breaking any hearts, but I am a Trekkie. Not a War Z. You guys don't even have a name. That's the thing. You don't even have a name. You don't have a hand symbol either. Just saying. Just saying. Justin said, well, now we're enemies. I love Planet of the Apes. I love all those movies. They're so cool. I love them. I love because I love anthropology. So I love the idea that the apes like evolved. Like I just love that. I love those movies. And I'm not going to lie, they're very scary when they're riding their horses. Like, that is a horrifying idea that they could, because they definitely could do that. So I like those movies for the fear factor and for like the anthropology and all the weirdness. And I usually do not like dystopian movies or end of the world movies for a very good reason. I used to work in television and film. I did produce some movies, and I noticed that in like Armageddon, Doomsday, dystopia, all the end of the world movies, they literally write whatever the hell they want. It's the stupid, there's like literally all of the skilled writing and plot shit goes out the window. It's like, well, it's the end of the world, so like we could put it in. Because she would be crazy, wouldn't it? So, like, since it's the end of the world, we could just, like, write all this shit that would, like, never, ever come to occur. Because it's the end of the world. People will believe it, right? And those movies are just so tedious to me. So I'm not a big fan of end of the world movies. But Planet of the Apes is different. And the one with Will Smith is different. So there's a few, but... Be right back with... Stage 5 Klinger. Oh, Allie, okay. I am Legend, yes, thank you. While I'm getting that story ready, if you guys could do me a big favor, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. That puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. And Brooke, I went like a really long time never seeing it. And then probably like 10 years ago, I randomly dated a guy that was dead set on me watching all of them before. It was when the first one that ever came out with like the female lead, Rin or whatever her name was. It was that like 2014 maybe. And so he was like, you have to watch all of them. And then I found out they go in backwards order, and I was like, this is the stupid. Nope, I'm out. Like tapping out. I did watch them, but that right there was they immediately lost me. The fact that, oh, so I have to live 75 years to watch the fucking first one. What the hell? Like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. How unsatisfying of a fanage or whatever the hell they call it, fan base. I don't even know what you call it, fandom. What is that to be like, well, the last one came out in 1970, but the first one's not coming out until 2035, so I might be dead. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Anyway, be right back. And I'm not kidding. The first one literally came out in the 70s. I'm not kidding. So, Skrilla, you're going to watch them when you're 90? Because that's what I'm saying. It's like stupid as hell. Because it drove me crazy. Like, that's the thing is, like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not that kind and you get it, Skrilla. I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to. It's so unsatisfying. Like, I would, no. Nope. Star Trek's nice, clean button ties it up in a bow. And Star Trek gets to visit all these planets and go to the markets and these different anthropological experiences. And they live on the ship. And it's just way cooler. Me neither, Mackenzie. Exactly, Brooke. And I did. And it's crazy. No, actually, Skrilla, I can't stand him. And that's the season I like the least. Like, I've watched it, but he's intolerable. He's insufferable. Like, I can barely handle even listening to the, what if we did that? Like, shut up, dude. Oh my God. Learn to talk. But I like all the other ones. And Scott Bakula, in case you guys didn't know, I have a thing for him. And he sure was a captain on the Enterprise. And he was cute. Who do I dislike, Tommy? Shatner. Plus, have you guys seen him lately in those History Channel shows? I'm pretty sure he's made out of wax now. Like, whoa, dude. Tracy, Quantum Leap was where I first fell in love with Scott Bakula. I was like, this hot guy with a big schnoz and dark skin, and he's time traveling? My God. Gimme. Brooke, if you did, you better not tell me. Oh, wait, Shatner? I don't think so. I'm talking about Bakula. Don't even tell me if that's the case. Wait, why is it his fault? Skrilla. There's your stage 5 clinger, y'all. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. By the way, Skrilla, Jamie right here is my real life friend. We've been friends for like over 10 years. And she's the one that I was like, those are dyed crystals. Put those down. That's Jamie. She's the CIA undercover plumber van. Hi, Jamie. No, you're not the stage 5 clinger. Huggin' Molly is right here. Yes, the hot pink crystal. But she ended up buying a globe instead. I'm like, that a girl. Dennis, thank you so much. Those are cute. Cassie, that's cute. Thanks. No, she's CIA. Remember I told you she's the one that can find out information on anyone. And she did on my neighbor when he kept jogging by my house every day and trying to talk to me. She was like, I don't like it one bit. And she did a whole, like, legit background check on him. Like, she was like, okay, so this is what I found. He went to college here. His major was this, but then he changed his major. He's this old. He has this tattoo on his chest, left pec. Interesting. It looks kind of like a, I don't know. And it was the funniest shit ever. Ever. Oh, we don't even waste our time with that loser. Raccoon Man's not worth my time. Hell, the elements got him. I don't need to worry about it. Tracy said, looks like my wife. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. Guys, this is Christina's fiance, Sam, who they're getting married in Tennessee in September. Right there, Sam. Hi. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of Huggin' Molly. Or the haint of Huggin' Molly. Everybody wish Jasmine a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jasmine. Thanks for spending it on the porch with us. I've traveled all over the South, chasing whispers and shadows. Good night, Jamie. Love you. Some turn out to be the wind through cypress trees, or a startled owl. But every once in a while, I stumble into something that I can't just laugh off. This story takes place in Abbeville, Alabama, a place you might not notice on the map, unless you're already looking for trouble or trying to avoid it. Okay, Jamie, sweet dreams. Abbeville isn't big, but it's old. Settled in the early 1800s. It still wears the past like a wool coat in the summer, heavy and soaked through with memory. People there still speak in slow drawls, and you can get a plate of catfish bigger than your head for under $10. But what really drew me to Abbeville was a local legend that has stuck around for over 100 years. The tale of Huggin' Molly. Oh, I love that, Bama girl. Now, depending on who you ask, Molly's either a grieving mother, a witch, or some kind of cryptid that stalks the streets after dark. But everyone agrees on two things. She's tall, like 7 feet tall. And she wraps you in a death grip hug so tight it knocks the breath out of you. She doesn't kill you, but you'll remember her for the rest of your life. Local kids are warned that if they stay out past sundown, Hug and Molly might grab them and scream in their ear. I'd heard the story years ago, and always figured it was one of those moral tales meant to scare kids into getting home by supper. But I never forgot it. And last October, while tracing old Civil War routes through southern Alabama, I decided to make a stop in Abbeville and see if the place had anything left of the legend. I pulled into town just before sunset. The streets were quiet, too quiet for a Friday night. Downtown was a cluster of old brick buildings and faded murals that looked like they hadn't been touched since the 1940s. I parked near the library, a gorgeous old building that still had gas lanterns flickering out front. And I walked toward the courthouse square. Thank you, Bama. I got lucky, and a local historian named Bobby was closing up the museum, and he offered me a private look inside. The museum itself was one room, barely big enough to turn around in without knocking over a display. Thank you, Jess. There were Civil War artifacts, some dusty family Bibles, and a glass case dedicated entirely to Hug and Molly. Thank you, the peaceful. The case held newspaper clippings, a child's bonnet, and a charcoal sketch from 1914 that made the hair on my arms rise. It showed a towering woman in white, with long arms and big eyes. Her mouth was wide, almost smiling, but in a way that made you feel like smiling back would be a mistake. Bobby told me that the sketch was done by a boy named Samuel Gaines, who claimed he saw her one Halloween night, and after that, he never spoke again. He died in a sanitarium up in Montgomery in 1938. Bobby said the story always resurfaces when the weather turns cool and the air smells like smoke. Now, I've heard my fair share of ghost stories, and I've had a few strange experiences that have kept me awake at night, but I hadn't expected to feel anything in Abbeville. But something about that drawing, about the cold stillness inside the museum, that made me decide to stay the night and see if I could walk the route that people claimed Molly used to follow. According to locals, she favored Kirkland Street, right near the old carriage trail that once led out of town into the woods. I checked into a little roadside inn and I waited for the clock to strike midnight. It was the kind of night where the fog doesn't roll in, it seeps in. Everything felt damp and muffled. I walked slowly, flashlight in hand, down Kirkland Street. The houses were spaced wide apart. It was the kind of quiet that makes you wonder if anyone is even alive in the whole town. And then I heard it. Not footsteps. Something softer. Like cloth dragging across pavement. I turned off my inadequate flashlight and I stood still. My ears strained as I held my breath. And the sound came again, this time closer, behind me. I turned around and I saw nothing. Just as I finally exhaled, there came a strange pressure, like the air was filled with electricity. My chest tightened, and I suddenly felt ice cold. Not the kind that creeps up your arms, the kind that shoots straight through your ribs. I looked up, and there she was. 7 feet tall at least. I couldn't make out her face. She tilted her head slightly and moved toward me. I couldn't move. I should have screamed. I should have run, but all I could do was stand there while she came closer. Her arms opened wide, not quickly, but in a slow, almost loving way. And then she was around me. I didn't feel hands, I felt pressure, like being vacuum sealed into a memory I didn't want. It was like being hugged by grief itself, dense, hollow, and cold as grave soil. Then, just beside my ear, she screamed. Not a word, not a name, just a pure mournful wail that blasted straight through me. I dropped to my knees. The scream faded into the fog. And when I opened my eyes, she was gone. I staggered back to my car. I don't remember unlocking it or the drive back to the inn. I don't even remember getting into my room, getting into bed, or falling asleep. Brooke. I don't really remember anything after she hugged me. I was in some type of fog for the rest of the night. The next morning, I woke with a nosebleed and my ribs ached like I had been tackled. I went back to the museum and Bobby told me one more story before I left. In 1909, a woman named Molly Langford lost her only child to scarlet fever. They said that she went mad with grief and wandered the streets at night for weeks, begging people to let her hold their babies. When she died, folks said they could still hear her calling for her son. Others think Molly's not human at all. Some say she's tied to the land itself, an elemental. Whatever she is, I believe she's real. I can still feel her arms around me sometimes when I dream. So if you ever find yourself near Henry County, Alabama, especially in October, be careful walking after dark, because Hug and Molly might be looking for someone else to hold tight. Excuse me, Brooke? Excuse me, Brooke, I'm not like that. Not behind closed doors, only with trolls. Because I know what you're implying, and I am not a dominatrix. Oh, I know, Brooke, I know. But you said especially with Devin. Excuse me, ma'am? Excuse me? there would be problems because I like to be the little spoon too. Oh, that's true, Brooke. That's accurate. That's true. They've tried. Scroll. I have a like a toiletry bag that I travel with that says Big Witch Energy. Rachel. Oh, thanks, Taryn. I appreciate that. Yes, 80s deuces. Thanks, Taryn. I appreciate that. Oh, Shy. I'm sorry. That was the end. Welcome in. Yeah, I was. I was hanging out in the rain today, and my neighbor like opened the front door and was like watching me frolic in the rain. They were probably like, "What the fuck is she doing now?" Could I like talk to the birds, and like I'd definitely be arrested for witchcraft if it was my old lives. Thank you, Peaceful. So I'm really grateful that I can finally be my witchy, weird self and frolic in the rain and talk to the birds and stuff, and my neighbors can't have me arrested for witchcraft anymore. I've waited multiple lives for this. Exactly, Brooke. I think they were like I told you, I've mentioned to people before. I do it on my Witchy Wednesday lives. I tell people, don't run in the rain. Next time you're getting out of your car in the store, if it's raining, don't run. Just enjoy it and look like you're enjoying it, and it might rub off. And other people might go, wow, she's really free. She doesn't even give a shit what people think. I bet that feels good. Because it does. Warm summer rain, that's a special feeling. The smell, the feel. Warm summer rain is a rare experience you only get a couple times a year. And I absolutely revel in it when it happens. And yeah, Skrilla, men are obsessed with witches. They're terrified / fascinated / don't know how to feel. It is true, right, Droopy? Yeah, walk through it. Yep. And even if they don't copy me in the parking lot that moment, I hope when they go home to unload their groceries or something, they'll be like, you know what? That girl in the parking lot was right. I should just enjoy it. At least that's what I tell myself when I'm being weird. Is I'm like, maybe it'll rub off. Or those people are just like, what a fucking weirdo. And then they went along with their day. But I hope to plant the seed. It might not always work. But I know people really don't understand, but I'm like, I hope to plant the seed. So yeah, today I frolicked in the rain, and my neighbor like opened their front door and was like watching. Like, what is she doing? He was a drop afraid of me, and it turned him on. Rachel, that's so cute. Susan, why can't you be more like that weird neighbor? Yeah, right. Right, Letta? The rain during the summer smell is so magical. It's just a special scent that, like, when you're old someday and you can't even get out of bed, you're going to be like, man, I really wished I had taken time while I was able bodied and should really sniff it up and run in it and feel good, you know? I have all kinds of whimsical suggestions if you guys want. I'm like, every Witchy Wednesday I cover this kind of stuff. Another good one, if you see a swing set, next time you see a swing set, go swing on it. Just for like 5 seconds. Just kick your legs up and go flying through the air for like a minute. I dare you. And see how you feel. Don't give a shit if people see you as an adult doing it. Give it a whirl. You're going to be like giggling when you get off. You're going to be like, oh, that was so fun. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Tracy. Jumping in puddles, all that stuff. But see, Tracy, why don't you do it now? Why do you need your grandson as an excuse? I've noticed that a lot with people who have kids. As someone who doesn't have kids, a lot of my friends use kids as an excuse to be weird and silly again. When I'm like, dude, I never stopped. Why? What do you mean? Like, well, now that the kids... No, dude, do it now. You don't need a kid so people won't judge you. They can judge you all you want. All they want. Fuck them. You don't need a kid to splash in puddles. Do it tomorrow. Spooky churches, I have one. But I've had all kinds of pets. Oh, he's teething. Yeah, he wouldn't like it. You're right. But you're right. It'll be more fun when he's with you to do it. But I'm glad you do it now. But yeah, he's too young. But he'll like it eventually. Yeah, Gabriel, I get that. But that makes me sad that you guys lost sight of that. Because that should never happen. You know what I mean? All right, guys, I'm going to set up the next poll. Welcome to the porch. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Oh, I like that, Gabriel. Silly Billy. I like that. Bianca, thank you for the follow. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Oh yes, Droopy, it's my own music. It's copyrighted. It's my own. It's licensed to me. I have 3 songs that I use that are all licensed to me, and they're nowhere else because they use AI bots to enforce copyright music now. So they will pull your shit if your music is anywhere else because they can't tell if it's you or if you have the right to use it or anything like that. So those songs will never be available anywhere for the pure reason that I don't want my videos pulled off Spotify every week because Sony thinks they own the song. It's bullshit. So, Tracy, did I sing a song on the radio? Which one are you talking about? Which one are you talking about? Are you referencing possibly a song from the early to mid 2000s? Oh, thank you, Letta. That was possibly a club hit? How did you know that, Tracy? That's a secret. How did you know that? Yes. That's so funny. Did you recognize my voice? That's hilarious. That is a secret. Oh my God, that's so funny. I I love that, Tracy. You're so smart. Clever. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the next poll and I'll be right back. If you guys could do me a big favor and hit that share arrow. In the bottom right-hand corner, there is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Tracy, you're so cute. You have foxes and a badger? Oh my god, that's so cool, Spooky Churches. I love that. All right, you guys, be right back with the next poll. You said spooky chihuahuas? Spooky chihuahuas. What is that? Yes, I love to frolic. Hi, bud. Yes, I love to frolic, possum. That's hilarious, Tracy. I love it. Okay, these are terrible titles. These are bad. Okay. All right, here we go. We have... It's Silly Story Title Sunday, by the way, guys. So these are not the real story titles. They're silly, okay? We have Come Get Your Kids. We have Lost Without a Map. We have Splish Splash Ding Dong. That's the stupidest one. We have Oh Hell Nah. And we have Jamaica Me Run for My Life. And yes, I'm so excited about the new Coven season. I cannot fucking wait to bring back the Supreme. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Okay. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. We have Come Get Your Kids, Lost Without a Map, Splish Splash Ding Dong, Oh Hell Nah, and Jamaica Me Run for My Life. Who's it gonna be, guys? Hi, Mary. Hi, Zoe. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box. And you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Yeah, Skrilla, I was actually going to probably do like a silly name thing for them so I don't have to try to come up with them on the spot. Brooke said, excited school is starting. I'll stop going bald. What was that about you saying yesterday that it wasn't a trap? Are you going bald? Girl. Justin, I love you. I know, Brooke. That's what I'm saying. It's rough in those streets. We know. Justin said, I'm also going bald and I have no kids. I love Justin. Do you like that, Tracy? The winner is Jamaica Me Run for My Life. Mary, you're a good friend. As someone who has moved a lot in my life, you'd be surprised how many friends will not help you move. You are a good friend because that's a big ask, I guess. And you're amazing. From someone who has needed help moving a lot in my life, thank you for helping your friend move. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Bianca. Hi, Mark. Hi, Your Royal Highness. Thank you so much. Welcome to the porch. All right, guys, I will be right back with Jamaica Me Run for My Life. It's Silly Story Title Sunday. Yep, Leslie, no one ever. Yeah, I didn't get help a lot of times. And being a solo woman, especially when I was a news reporter and I moved frequently, it was very hard. And my lovely father used to literally like he drove a moving truck from Ohio to Texas to get me out of Texas after Hurricane Harvey because there were no moving trucks, no gasoline, nothing. And I had no help and I didn't know what to do. So thank you for helping your friend. Justin, I know you're never going to do this, but the earth's soil is very nutrient rich and it helps your nails and your hair grow. So all you need to do is like dunk your head in a big tub of dirt for a couple hours a day and your hair will start growing again. Like no problem. Or maybe like do a mud mask on your head. I love that, Mary. You're amazing. I have not, Erin. I don't like fall. I know it's a sacrilege in the spooky community, but I have theories on the people that really like fall. And I don't like fall. I'm a spring and summer girly, guys. I'm an Artemis Bridgie. I'm flower fae, not flower and water fae. We don't like ice and cold. Everything's dead and frozen. It's when I go into like dormancy. Yeah, and like I imagine if you live somewhere warm. Right, Robert? Miracle Grow, exactly. I imagine if you live somewhere warm, fall is wonderful, like if you're hot all the time. But I live somewhere where it's cold most of the year and we don't get to enjoy out. And I am obsessed with being outdoors. So to me, all fall brings is the precursor to the worst time of the year. And it gets cold very fast here. There's hardly any in between. So it even snows in like October here. So I hate fall because of where I live. But I imagine other places, like when I lived in North Carolina, I didn't hate fall because it was like the perfect fall. My other theory is that people who are in relationships or have spouses or lifelong partners love cuddle. They just look forward to fall so much because they get to be trapped inside with their snuggle bug. And those of us who are single, it's literally like, I'm fucking cold. I can't go outside. And it's just not a fun time. So my theory is to all the people who love it, you clearly are booed up in the fall and winter, and you probably live somewhere warm or you're booed up. Those are the two. Yeah, and Gabriel, that's fine with me. Yeah, and Leslie, you live in Mississippi. What is it, 70 for fall for you? Yeah, but lonely, where do you live? Plus, I hate to break it to you, but your screen name's Lonely. And I get it. When I lived in Houston, 70 was cold for me. But that's not the same. Guess what? You guys can't die if your car breaks down at 70. It can be cold to you all you want, but you're never going to get hypothermia and die and freeze to death when it's 70. You know what you are when it's minus 13. You know? So it's not the same. Not the same. Sorry, guys. It's just not the same. Because when I lived in Houston, I put on a coat when it was 70. But I also knew damn well what it was like to be in negative 10. And I was like, I need to get a grip. Because your blood changes, so it feels cold to you. But like, it's not actually a hazard. You don't actually have to run your heat. You know what I mean? Like, it's a totally different thing. I lived in Midtown, Vincent. I was a news reporter for Channel 39. And I miss it. I loved living in Houston. Yeah, Skrilla, that's what I just said. I said it literally snows in October here. We don't get a fall. Right, Rachel? Yeah. It's like, it's much more dangerous to live. Like, the mayor of my town died one year because he crashed his car in a blizzard and had a heart attack and died. You know where that doesn't happen? Any state where they don't have fucking blizzards. Like, what? And we had to have a special election to bring in an interim mayor because ours had a heart attack crashing his car in a blizzard. That's just no way to live. That's when you got to scrape off your car and hack it out every day and like shovel it. So like that's what I said. I just hibernate. I don't even do shit in the winter. I'm like, sorry guys, I'll see you in the spring. I'm not shoveling anything. I'm not scraping. Nope. See you later. See you in the spring. And that's why I get so many stories written in the wintertime. Cranking those shits out. I had like so many on backup from the winter that I didn't even have to write for like 3 months. Yep, same red lips. I literally don't leave the house. And if I do, I'm like, and I'm like wrapped up in like, I look like a woman from the 1940s. I'm in like a giant wool peacoat and like stole and earmuffs and like gloves and like yeah, Zoe, for real. And my ancestors aren't even from anywhere warm, and I just don't belong in cold places. I just don't. Is that what I sound like? Yeah, Gabriel, I do voices all the time that I like don't even know who I'm imitating. But South Park definitely is one of the things I pull from because I used to do Cartman a lot when I was in college. And I used to love South Park. Okay, guys. Quick swig. I'll be right back with Right Witch of Rose Hall. And that's exactly it, Nature's Oracle. Yep. It's dark and the heat is so expensive and it's dark. It gets so dark that time at 4 p.m. By my birthday in November, it's dark at 4 p.m. That's insane. And that's depressing. And like when you're a night owl and not a wake up at 5 in the morning person, it's the worst. Because I wake up not at 5 a.m. and then I have already half the daylight's gone. I'm like, what the? It's just the worst. Right? It really is, Zoe. It really is. Justin, I think it's called depression, but okay. We'll unpack that later, boo-boo. Exactly, Aaron. I want to live my life and be able to do things outside all year. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the White Witch of Rose Hall. Red lips, I'm the same way. Literally. Same way. I'm outside at like 3 a.m, roaming around, like talking to lightning bugs and just like wallowing in the warmth. Like, here's a fun one real quick. In my past life, in like the 1900s to 1940s, 50s era, there was what they called a sleeping porch. They were built into a lot of houses because they didn't have air conditioning back then. And so they built the houses with an open air plan kind of, but they had what they called a sleeping porch. And if you give it a goog, they are really cool. They ended up becoming a lot of people's screened in porches and stuff, but that originated as what they called a sleeping porch. Yes, Gabriel. Now they're screened in porches, but if you give it a goog, they were originally called a sleeping porch. And we used to sleep on them and listen to the crickets and the breeze, and you could smell the honeysuckle in the air and the bluebells and the lilacs. And it was the best thing. So if you're lucky enough to have a screened in porch, time travel tonight and maybe go sleep out there. Take a snooze. It's not a shirt, Gabriel, but it is a sticker for the super fans. I need to make it a sticker that I can use, but right, Kyle? Honeysuckle, right? It's not the best smell. Where do you live? They don't have them where you live. Yeah, Zoe, that's the thing, is the screen has to get the mosquitoes out. Oh, Elizabeth, I'm sorry to hear that. Just means you're a very deep and sensitive person, and this life is really depressing, to be honest. I used to do that in Jamaica because our front porch was tile, so it was cool. Speaking of Jamaica, Zoe, look at the story that just won. By the way, guys, Zoe is from Jamaica. And I love her. She's so cute. All right, guys, quick swig. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the White Witch of Rose Hall. Zoe, you're so cute. She said, I love you too. You're making me blush. This story is about my trip to Jamaica. About the beauty of the island, the warmth of the people, and something else, something darker. This is my encounter with the White Witch of Rose Hall. It was last summer, and I had been feeling untethered, I guess. Life had been a whirlwind of stress and disappointment after disappointment, and I just needed to escape, to breathe. So I booked a trip to Jamaica, and not one of those all-inclusive resorts where you're surrounded by tourists sipping pina coladas by the pool. No, I wanted something immersive and authentic, something real. I found a little guest house in Montego Bay run by a local family. It was nestled at the edge of the jungle, surrounded by towering palms, banana trees, and flowering hibiscus. The air was thick with the scent of salt from the ocean, and the sweet, heady perfume of tropical blooms filled the breeze. It felt like I was stepping into a dream world. The family who ran the guest house was incredible. Miss Clara, the matriarch, was this tiny, feisty woman with a voice like warm molasses and a laugh that could light up the darkest room. She had this way of making you feel like family the moment you walked through the door, and her cooking was out of this world. Jerk chicken so tender it fell off the bone, and salt fish that tasted like home. And fresh mangoes so sweet they made your teeth ache. Every evening we'd sit on the porch sipping sorrel drink or coconut water straight from the shell. And she'd tell us stories. Stories about the island's history, about the spirits that lived in the trees, and about the legends that had been passed down for generations. And that's how I first heard about Annie Palmer, the White Witch of Rose Hall. Miss Clara told us about how Annie was this beautiful and cruel woman who lived in the 1800s at Rose Hall, a plantation house up in the hills. They said her spirit still haunted the house, and that she would appear to visitors, her pale skin glowing in the moonlight, her eyes burning with hatred. I laughed it off at first. I figured it was just a spooky tale to scare tourists. Thank you, Taryn. But Miss Clara gave me this look like she knew something that I didn't. And she told me that some stories are more than just stories. Right, Rachel? So good. But I didn't think much of it at the time. I was too busy falling in love with Jamaica. The island is, God, it's breathtaking. The jungle is so alive, so dense and green, with vines hanging from the trees like curtains, and birds calling to each other in the canopy. I would walk for hours picking mangoes, guavas, and star apples straight from the trees. Their juice sticky and sweet on my fingers. The locals would wave as I passed, calling out greetings in that musical Jamaican patois. It felt like paradise. But then, one day, I decided to visit Rose Hall. Letta guavas are my favorite. They're so good. I had heard about the tour they offered, where you could just walk through the old plantation house and hear the history of the place. I love history, so I figured it would be interesting. A little taste of the island's past. But I didn't expect it to be what it was. The plantation only had one tour left for the day, so I signed up for that one and I hopped onto a bus with several other people. There were probably about 12 of us total, and the drive up to Rose Hall was stunning. The road wound through the hills, past fields of sugarcane and clusters of brightly painted houses. Thank you, Dennis. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers. And when we finally reached the house, I was struck by how imposing it was. This grand white structure perched on the hill overlooking the ocean. With tall columns and wide verandas, it was beautiful. But there was something eerie about it. The energy there made my skin crawl. The tour guide was this cheerful woman with a bright smile and a voice that carried through the halls. She told us all about the history of the house, about Annie Palmer and her reign of terror. She showed us the rooms where Annie had supposedly practiced her dark magic. and the dungeons where she tortured the enslaved, and the spot where she was buried. It was fascinating but so unsettling. I kept feeling like somebody was watching me, but we were the only tour group and there was no one else on the property. After the tour ended, hi Avril. After the tour ended, we were told we had a quick break. So everyone from the group dispersed to hit the restrooms, eat some snacks, and walk the property. Everyone else in the group seemed to at least be in pairs. I seemed to be the only solo one. Story of my life. So I decided to explore the grounds on my own. The sun was starting to set, casting long shadows across the lawn. And the air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers. I could stay here forever. I wandered down a path that led to the jungle, the trees closing in around me. It was quiet except for the sound of my footsteps and the occasional rustle of leaves. Through the lush undergrowth, I saw what looked almost like ruins of an old building. Stones or something. And for those of you who don't know, I minored in archaeology in college, and I'm a little obsessed with anything that has to do with artifacts or remnants of the past. So I immediately kneeled down, and I started to move the foliage out of the way so I could see what was underneath. And then it hit me, and I realized what I had just found. Two rows of evenly spaced field stones. Oh, I'm so glad, Taryn, thank you. Field stones were oftentimes used to mark burials of the enslaved on plantations. I think I just found the cemetery of the enslaved people who lived here. I have to tell somebody. By the looks of it and all the overgrowth, nobody knew it was here. It was starting to get dark now, so I ran back up the trail and toward the plantation to alert the tour guide of what I had found. But, to my horror, the tour bus was gone. Everyone was gone. The group had left me at Rose Hall Plantation alone. And now the sun was almost completely set and it was dark. This is the jungle. I'm not walking miles back to the guest house in the pitch black jungle. So I managed to get the back door to the kitchen of the plantation house open, and I was able to take shelter inside for the night. The house was gorgeous. And it was a little spooky, but it was surprisingly cozy, and I felt safe and protected from the creepy wild sounds of the jungle at night. I finished the last granola bar I had in my backpack, and I laid down on one of the fainting couches to go to sleep until morning, and then I'd walk back. Just as I started to doze off, I smelled a strong, sweet floral smell and felt a cold breeze brush across my face. I opened my eyes, and that's when I saw her. She was wearing a white dress, the fabric flowing around her like smoke. Her skin was so pale it looked like she was glowing. Her hair was dark, cascading down her back, and her eyes, they were black, and they were fixed on me. I sat straight up and I froze. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. She didn't move. She just stood there, watching me, with those empty eyes. And then she smiled. But it wasn't a friendly smile. It was a cruel and twisted smile, like she knew something that I didn't. I wanted to run, but My legs wouldn't move. I was rooted in the spot, staring at her as she took a step forward. And then she spoke. Her voice was low, but it carried through the air like a knife. "You shouldn't be here. This is my home." I don't know how I did it, but I managed to leap off that fainting couch and run. I didn't look back. I just ran as fast as I could out the back door and down the long winding driveway. My feet slipping on the wet leaves, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I didn't stop running until I was all the way back to the guest house. Collapsing on the porch, my heart still racing. Miss Clara found me laying there shaking and pale. She didn't even ask what happened. She just handed me a cup of tea and sat beside me with her hand on my shoulder and asked me if I saw her. I nodded. She sighed and told me that some spirits don't rest easy. Then I told Miss Claire about the graves of the enslaved people that I thought I had discovered at Rose Hall, and she jumped up and got on the phone. The next morning, we met with the head of the Historical Society and a few government officials as I led them to the spot. I left Jamaica the next day. I couldn't stay, not after what I had seen. Thank you, Crafter Girl. 2 months later, I received a phone call. It was Miss Clara. She told me they sent archaeologists out there who had confirmed that it was, in fact, the missing graveyard of the enslaved people who lived at Rose Hall. I like to think their spirits are already at peace. But as for Annie Palmer, the White Witch of Rose Hall, we know her spirit's not at rest. And it probably never will be. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Justin. And that's the tale of the White Witch at Rose Hall. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Crafter Girl. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like. They are available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. I also have all of the links in my bio. Also, thank you to those of you on YT who helped me complete my goal already. You guys are great. Appreciate you. And I'm going to set up... Oh, I'm sorry, Happily Rude Mom. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm doing that, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing to your stories helps too, and tapping the screen helps too. Thank you for all the people tapping, and I'll be right back. It is Silly Story Title Sunday, so I'll be right back with the next poll. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. Happy Sunday. Nope, you're not late. Welcome in. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Laura. Okay, guys. The next poll is ready. And it's Silly Story Title Sunday. Oh, thank you so much for helping me with my gallery, Archangela. Thank you for sending me the swan. I appreciate that. Thank you. Good, Rich. I'm so glad. All right, you guys. We have Come Get Your Kids. I'm so glad, Royal Highness. Yay. We have It's a Bird. It's a Plane. What the fuck is that? We have Poopy Paws Goes Camping. We have She's Gonna Tell Her Mama. And we have Snot Hole. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. And you can vote up to 50 times. And you can vote for more than one story. We have Come Get Your Kids. It's a bird. It's a plane. What the fuck is that? We have Poopy Paws Goes Camping. And we have She's Gonna Tell Her Mama. And Snot Hole. Silly Story Title Sunday. Right, Southern? I like that one. She's gonna tell her mama. Okay, Bud, we got you. Bud wants to vote for the bird. It's a plane. And the winner is, she's going to tell her mama. Welcome in, everybody. My name's Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Thanks, Laura. Thank you so much. Those are so cute. I do write and record all these stories myself. And you can listen to them on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites whenever you would like. Thank you so much, Laura. And I'm going to get the next story ready. If you guys could do me a big favor, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? There is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. That puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps. And thank you to everybody tapping the screen. It helps us get pushed out, helps us get new porch pals. Jeff, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. I'll be right back with the next story. And if you guys could grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, check out the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. Happy Sunday. And thank you, Your Royal Highness. That is so sweet of you to say. Also, if you have already done the repost, you can always unpost and re-repost. That just refreshes the algorithm and pushes us out again. Thank you. You're William Wallace. Well, welcome in, dude. Sup? SB, thank you for the follow. Allie, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch, guys. I was just going to say, dude, I knew you in a past life, William. We were friends. Back in Scotland. Good night, Brooke. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. Skrilla. This is the tale of the Greenbrier Ghost. Thank you, Dennis. And yes, Charlotte, tapping on my tea helps too. Thank you so much. I see your little hearts tapping. Thank you. Nestled in the rolling hills of West Virginia, Greenbrier County is known for its breathtaking landscapes and rich history. But beneath its picturesque exterior lies a dark tale that has captured the imagination of locals and paranormal enthusiasts alike. It's the story of Zona Heastershoe, a young woman whose tragic life and untimely death would give rise to one of the most famous ghost stories in American history. The legend of the Greenbrier Ghost. Zona was born in 1873 to a farming family in Greenbrier County. She was known for her beauty and charm. With her bright smile and warm spirit, Zona quickly became a beloved figure in the community. She had dreams of finding true love, and those dreams came to fruition when she met a man named Edward Shue. Edward was a charismatic but somewhat mysterious figure. He was a blacksmith by trade, and on the surface seemed to be the perfect match for Zona. Their courtship was swift, and soon they were wed. However, friends and family began to express concerns about Edward's temperament. Some warned Zona that he had a reputation for being hot-headed and could be possessive. But the young couple seemed blissfully in love, and Zona believed that she had found her soulmate. The couple moved into a small home in the area, and for a time, things appeared to be going well. But soon after the marriage, Zona's family noticed a change in her demeanor. She became withdrawn, her vibrant personality dulled by an unseen weight. The rumors surrounding Edward's temperament continued to swirl, and Zona's loved ones feared for her safety. And in January of 1897, a chilling event unfolded. Zona was found dead in her home, her lifeless body draped across the floor. The news of her death sent shockwaves through the community. Initial speculation about the cause of death ranged from natural causes to foul play, but an autopsy was never performed. Edward insisted that Zona had simply collapsed because she had been in poor health. Lovely, Fernando's talking about a past life that we had together. Edward insisted that Zona had simply collapsed because she had been in poor health. and the local authorities accepted his explanation without question, because he was her husband. Zona's funeral was a somber affair. Mourners gathered to pay their respects, but the air was thick with unspoken questions. What had truly happened to the young bride? In the days following her burial, whispers of foul play circulated among the townsfolk. But with no evidence to support their claims, they had no recourse. As the weeks passed, strange occurrences began to unfold. Zona's mother, Mary Heaster, was particularly affected by her daughter's sudden death. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. In her grief, she sought solace in her faith. And one night while praying, she was visited by an inexplicable vision. Mary claimed that Zona appeared to her in a dream, ethereal and glowing. And Zona's ghost spoke to her, revealing that her death had not been accidental. She told her mother that Edward had killed her, that he had been abusive, and that he had strangled her in a fit of rage. Zona's spirit urged Mary to seek justice for her untimely demise, urging her to confront the truth that had been buried alongside her in the ground. This revelation shook Mary to the core. She was determined to uncover the truth and bring her daughter's killer to justice. Thank you, Justin. Despite the town's skepticism, Mary was resolute. She spoke to anyone who would listen, sharing her vision and calling for a new investigation into Zona's death. Mary's fervor caught the attention of local authorities, who were initially hesitant but intrigued by her claims. Thank you, Skrilla. As the tide of public opinion began to shift, they agreed to exhume Zona's body for a proper examination. And on February 22nd, 1897, her body was exhumed from the cemetery and the coroner's investigation commenced. What they discovered was chilling. Zona's body, though remarkably well preserved, bore marks around her neck consistent with strangulation. The forensic evidence seemed to support Mary's claims, and Edward Shue was promptly arrested and charged with murder. The trial of Edward Shue became a spectacle that captured the attention of the entire nation. The courtroom was filled with townsfolk eager to witness the unfolding drama. Mary testified about her vision, recounting the details of her daughter's ghostly appearance. The defense argued that Mary was merely grieving and that her claims were fabricated. Nevertheless, the prosecution presented the coroner's findings and evidence of Edward's violent temper. As the trial progressed, more witnesses came forward recounting their own experiences with Edward's volatile temperament. As the trial progressed, neighbors testified that they had heard arguments between the couple, and several friends of Zona spoke about her fearful demeanor in the months leading up to her death. The courtroom buzzed with tension as evidence mounted against Edward, but he maintained his innocence throughout. During the proceedings, something remarkable happened. The ghost of Zona seemed to loom over the trial, a heavy presence that everyone could feel. and he claimed to have felt a chill in the air whenever her name was mentioned. In the eyes of many, Zona's spirit was avenging her own death, haunting the very man who had taken her life. As the trial reached its climax, the jury deliberated. Days passed as they weighed the evidence and the emotional testimonies. Finally, they returned with a verdict: guilty of murder. Edward Shue was sentenced to life in prison, and the town of Greenbrier erupted in a mix of relief and disbelief. After Edward's conviction, Zona's ghost was said to have found peace, her spirit finally at rest after achieving justice for her untimely death. The haunting of Greenbrier became a cornerstone of local lore. Zona's story was told and retold, her life and death intertwined with the theme of love, betrayal, and the unyielding bond between mother and daughter. Mary Heaster became a local hero, her unwavering belief in her daughter's spirit leading to justice. The story of Zona Heaster Shue became emblematic of the power of love and the strength of a mother's resolve. The events surrounding her life and death have sparked discussions about the intersection of the spiritual and the material, of the known and the unknown. Today, the tale of the Greenbrier ghost is not just a chilling story from the past. It remains a point of fascination for paranormal investigators and historians alike. The home where Zona lived is now part of local folklore, attracting those who seek to understand the mysteries of the spirit world. And the trial of Edward Shue is cited in legal classes and discussions of legal history as one of the earliest cases where a ghost's testimony influenced a murder trial. Zona's story has inspired countless books, documentaries, and ghost tours in the area, each retelling the events of her life and death with new twists and interpretations. And as we reflect on the haunting tale of Zona Heaster Shue, we're left with questions about life, death, and the ties that bind us to those we love. In the shadows of Greenbrier County, the legend of the Greenbrier ghost lives on. A powerful testament to the enduring spirit of an Appalachian woman who refused to be forgotten. And that's the tale of the Greenbrier ghost, tonight known as She Gonna Tell Her Mama. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. I also have all of the links in my bio. Thank you, Fairy Witch. Reindeer, that's really cool. I love that. Thank you, Dennis. All right, you guys, I will set up the next poll so we can vote for the next story. And if you guys would do me a big favor, if you could hit that little share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other, and it says repost. That puts the live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. You can also unpost and re-repost. Oh, thank you, Your Royal Highness. I'm glad you checked it out. I put a lot of love into my merch. Thank you. Thank you so much. I always tell people to go look at it even if they don't want to buy anything, because I just put a lot of love into it and it's really cute stuff. Oh, Rich, that's cool. Southern, thank you for the slow motion snail. Hi, Beetlejuice. Thank you for the cozy cryptids and the heart me. Hi, Jade. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Sunday. Also, don't forget, tomorrow I premiere a new story at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on my YT channel. We do a live premiere and a live chat. We have a lot of fun. And come join us tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'm excited for the new story. This new story's topic is something that I chose. It was not a recommendation or a request, which for a long time now, I've been doing the ones you guys have sent me or the suggestions. Hi, Head Rocks. And this one, isn't it beautiful? Yeah, I did. I made her look like Rihanna. Don't tell anybody, Starlight. I love Rihanna. I love Riri. If the super fans look in the stickers, I have one that says Riri post, and it's Rihanna. Fucking love her. Anyway, she's an Aries rising like me, and I feel like it says a lot. We're very I don't know how to explain it, but I just love her. Yeah, Matt. Hi, Matt. Hi, Matt. What you doing? I didn't know you were here. You're a Virgo falling reindeer. That's so funny. Hello, Joanne. Good morning. Yeah, Skrilla. Love her. Bitch better have my money. You also know me. There's the Riri sticker right there. Yes, Rich. There she is, giving her little winky point. My favorite, her little winky point. Like, yeah. But my new favorite one of her is at the runway show when she has both middle fingers up and she's looking right at the girl going, "Fuck you, bitch." That's my favorite new one. She's an icon. And don't even get me started on the fashion show. She went too pregnant and they didn't help her sit down and she caused a scene. I love her. I love her. And I love the ASAP Rocky loves. I love her. The best. Right, Mary? It's the best picture of her. Because it's so, just such a vibe. Because I'm like, yeah, girl, I've been there too. It's an Aries. It's major Aries rising energy. Like, yeah, the Aries is where my bitch switch lives. Thank you, Royal Highness. Oh, thank you, Holly. Gosh, Holly, thank you for helping me with my gallery. I love the whale. Yeah, I love bad witches. This is my own problem. Plus, Riri loves, she loves that Doja, and so do I. You know? Yeah, me too, Mary. Same girl. I do it in traffic, dude. And I tell them that, I'm like, you need to learn how to drive. And he'll be like, what? I'm like, you heard me. You need to learn how to fucking drive. Matt loved Bitch Witch. Thank you, Teresa. Yes, Skrilla, we'll do it to our friends too. It can be a sign of affection or a sign of fuck you, bitch. Oh yeah, please go check out the merch. I hope you like it. Oh, thank you, Royal Highness. You're so sweet. Let me put the link back up. It's right here. It's the purple one. It's the purple one. Okay. Matt said I wouldn't mess with the bitch witch. By the way, guys, Matt and I grew up in the same town in North Carolina. He gets me. Thank you, Cats and Coffee. Well, and also, like, I tell people when I think, certain people, when I think they're cute, that they're annoying. So that's very on brand to flick off your friends. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're so cute, it's annoying. Like, same energy. Yeah, certain people. AKA Skrilla. Mary, I love how Southern you are. She said, me and mine do it all the time. Me and mine do it all the time. Rich said country's gravy. Well, I love it because that's how I used to talk. Me and mine do it all the time. Shoot, we're fixing to go over there. Do what? Dang, girl. You gonna holler at him? He's cute. Yeah, Matt. Yes, ma'am. Can I have grits with that? There we go. Be like, dang, he's a tall glass of water. He's so handsome. What's his name? That's the Southern Cardi B. Oh, he's so handsome. What's his name? Wait, what about the camel spider, Holly? Did you post it? What? Oh, yeah, breakfast. Yeah. Yeah. I'm from North Carolina. Yeah, I'm from North Carolina. Oh, really, Starlight? Yeah. Hi, Dallas. Oh, you DM'd me? It chased you? What the fuck, Holly? I have to check it out right now. Hi, Delphi. I'm setting up the poll, and I also have a puzzle piece, and I'm having a hard time with this silly story title. One day your nephew threw his back window at you? What? Oh, he threw his other. That's funny. Okay. Okay. The poll's ready. We have... Are y'all okay? We have It's a Bird, It's a Plane. What the fuck is that? We have The Forest, Femme Fatale. On Wednesday, Matt, we have Forest, Femme Fatale. We have Hootin' and Hollerin'. And we have Sir, this is a Wendy's. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. And you can vote up to 50 times. We have, Are y'all okay? It's a bird. It's a plane. What the fuck is that? We have Forest, Femme Fatale. We have Hootin' and Hollerin'. And we have Sir, this is a Wendy's. And yeah, Mary, I pulled that one out of my Appalachian ass dome. Hootin' and Hollerin' over there. I don't know, but they was hootin' and hollerin'. Like a bunch of hands. Right, Noodle? Sir, this is a Wendy's. And again, you can vote in the top left-hand corner. And you can vote up to 50 times. And you can vote for more than one story. Wait, which one, Justin? Which one do you know which is? I don't think you do. I don't think you know which one it is. Which one did you think it was, Justin? The winner is Hootin' and Hollerin'. We hootin' and hollerin'. Don't show him, he's gonna think that one's funny either. Wait, what? Thank you, Heidi, for the cake. And Rich, thank you for the super popular. It's classified. All right, guys, I'll be right back with Hootin' and Hollerin'. Welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them on my YT channel or any of the podcast streaming sites whenever you would like. I premiere a new one of these stories every Monday live on my YT channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to join me tomorrow for the new story of the week. It is, in fact, a topic that I love, that is from my ancestors, and one that is from my magical affiliation, and one that I think not a lot of people know about that I would love to share with you guys. So it will be another unexplained one. It will not be a first-person bedtime stories, and it is a very cool one that is close to my heart, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. And I spent last summer sharing some of this information with Jade, and then last night Skrilla guessed that it was beer bonging. I was like, I taught her about it last summer. He's like, beer bonging? It's like, yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys like it and join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. It is one of my favorite topics. It's also a category that you guys, several people have requested that I cover, and I haven't done a whole lot on it yet. And it's kind of my thing. So hi, Anubis. How are you? Yes, you were wrong. Yeah, I did. Skrilla guessed beer bonging because I said it was something I taught her last summer. Matt, don't tell everybody that. Yes, I may or may not have been the beer bonging champion of North Carolina as well as South Beach, Miami in spring break of 04, but like that's not even important. Matt, shh, that's not even important. Oh God, I know it's another layer, and then Matt's telling the truth. He's not wrong. I can bong a beer in less than 2 seconds. Oh yeah, Rich, humble brag. What? I know, and that's the funniest thing is Skrilla didn't even know. He just guessed beer bonging out of nowhere, and I was like, and my first thought was, did he see my old MySpace? Like, did my videos from MySpace come back? Like, because I didn't know if like when they bring back MySpace, are they bringing back our profiles? Because there is absolutely a video of me winning the South Beach Beer Bonging Championship of 2024 or 2004 on my MySpace. Yeah, the Oracle sent it to you. Matt said I'm low-key your biggest fan now. Oh, Matt, I love you. A keg stand, however, Mary, I don't like those very much. I can do one, but I don't like it. I'm a tall girl, and like I feel like people, I don't know, I don't trust them to not drop me. You know? But there's a trick to beer bonging. I promise. There's a trick. Matt, thanks for the galaxy. And I will also put a disclaimer that I have not bonged a beer since those years probably. So it's not like I'm still going around doing championship beer bonging. Hi, Antiana. Exactly, Matt. A keg stand is too dangerous for a tall girl. That's exactly right. If you notice, the tall girls hardly ever did them. It was always those tiny girls because I'm not letting you guys ruin my teeth and my face, slamming me into a keg accidentally because you're all wasted and you can't estimate how long my legs are and you drop me. No, I'm protecting my face. So I never really did that. I mean, I've done it before. I have done it before, but I didn't like it. And I was just like, okay, put me down. Put me down. I don't really like being picked up. Well, it depends. I'm not going to go into details, but it depends. I don't like being picked up in silly, goosey ways. I like being picked up in other ways. All right, guys, hooting and hollering. Here we go. Exactly, Jade. That's what I was saying. And my first thing that came to my mind was that scene with Vin Diesel in the garage in Fast and the Furious when he like picks her up by her ass and puts her up on the, you know what I'm talking about? Yep, right to my, that was like first thing came to my brain. I'm like, No, I'm not 5'11", but my sister's like 6 feet tall. Oh God, Skrilla. Matt, I knew that was your speed. Jade, did you say a 300-pound? Wait, wait, what did it say? 300-pound, 6'4" man to pick her up. Okay, just putting it out there. Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't shoot, right? Shoot your shot, girl. Tall, mysterious pagan women. M's, yes. Since I was a child, I watched all of the spooky shows, and Are You Afraid of the Dark was my inspiration for my channel. And So Weird, and Twilight Zone, and X-Files, and all of them basically, but yeah, Mary. It's a newer one. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Ozarks Howler. Jade said, I'm so glad you tricked us. Because y'all never vote for Mortimer. Eddie, I'd be like, can I pet that dog? Come here. Come here, cutie. It's okay. It's okay. I'm friend. That's what I would do. And then you'd hear about me on the news. Thank you, Corey. Hi, Rachel. How was your trip? Most people outside of the Midwest have never heard of the Ozarks Howler. And honestly, even most people inside the Midwest treat it like one of those regional campfire stories. Something local parents use to keep their parents from wandering too far past the tree line after dark. Thank you, Corey. I'm so glad to hear that. But if you spend enough time in southern Missouri, or in northern Arkansas, especially around the older mountain towns, where the roads narrow into gravel and the forests seem to swallow whole stretches of civilization, you start hearing about it in ways that don't really sound like folklore anymore. The first time I heard the name was from an old newspaper clipping pinned to the wall of a roadside diner outside Branson. It was framed between yellowed photographs of flood damage and a missing persons flyer from the 70s. The clipping described a farmer in the 1920s who claimed he saw a beast the size of a bear with glowing eyes, horns like a ram, and a cry so unnatural it made livestock slam themselves bloody against their pens trying to escape. Thank you, Code Red. I love that. Also, Jade, you can let people wait for the reveal of what the creature is so they stay in the live. So, because that's kind of like how I write the stories, so that they stay out of curiosity instead of you just telling them. Depending on who you ask, the Ozarks howler is described as a shaggy black beast with horns and glowing eyes. Love you, Jade. Others say it looks more like an oversized mountain lion with malformed hind legs. Some insist it has tusks. Others swear it has a tail tipped like a spear. The only consistent detail in every version is the sound, the howl. Witnesses describe it as something between a wolf and elk scream, a woman shrieking and metal grinding against itself. A noise so wrong that hearing it allegedly causes nausea, panic, and temporary paralysis. Stories of the creature date back at least to the early 1800s, with settlers in the Ozarks recording encounters with what they called the devil cat or the hainted beast. Some folklorists believe the legend may be older, adapted from indigenous oral traditions warning against supernatural creatures and spirits that lived deep in the hills. Others think the creature was inspired by sightings of diseased bears, escaped big cats, or simple frontier paranoia. But if that were true, it would have faded. Instead, the sightings have continued. Hunters disappearing after screams were heard in the woods. Farm animals found gutted but uneaten. Thank you, Natalie. Campers have reported eyes in the dark, followed by sounds no animal should be able to make. Every few years, another sighting surfaces online or in local papers. I rented a cabin near the Mark Twain National Forest. And if you've never heard of it, it's a very underrated, gorgeous national park in Missouri. The cabin looked charming. Wraparound porch, stone fireplace, private acreage, no neighbors for miles. At the time, that last part sounded relaxing. The drive down was gorgeous. Late October had painted the hills in rust and gold, and every curve of the mountain road looked like something out of a postcard. By the time I reached the cabin, the sun was already dipping behind the ridgeline, staining the trees copper. I noticed the large oak tree behind the cabin had large gashes in the bark. A little alarming, but just a reminder that bears do live in the area. The place itself sat alone at the end of a dirt road, with forest pressing close on all sides, dense enough that 10 feet beyond the clearing became shadows, The owner had left a binder of house rules and local recommendations on the kitchen counter. Tucked between pages about Wi-Fi passwords and checkout instructions was a handwritten note warning guests not to leave food outside for bears. And then under that, someone had scribbled in pen that if you hear something screaming in the woods, don't go looking for it. I assumed it was just some little joke the owner used to play up the spooky mountain aesthetic. Later that night, I was sitting on the porch under a blanket enjoying some greenery with a little Bluetooth speaker playing music softly beside me. The night was almost unnaturally quiet. Then every insect around us stopped at once. The silence hit so suddenly it felt physical, and then I heard a sound from somewhere deep in the trees. It was long and loud. It started almost like an animal call and then bent upward into something like human. It sounded wrong, and not scary because it was loud, scary because every instinct in me knew that I was hearing something that I could not identify. The scream echoed across the hills, and then again closer. I didn't move. The third scream came from a different direction entirely. Funny racer, dude, you're right. Not deeper in the woods. It was to my left and much closer now. I went inside immediately and I locked every door. Hello, Auntie Boley. I barely slept that night, and sometime after midnight I awoke to heavy footsteps moving across the wraparound porch. Boards creaked outside the bedroom window and then stopped. I held my breath. Then came a wet, snuffling sound against the glass, like someone smelling the window. Then claws dragged slowly across the pane. I stayed perfectly still until dawn. In the morning, I found muddy tracks around the porch. They looked canine, but way too large. But that only deepened my curiosity. I had to investigate this further. Just one short walk in broad daylight, just to check out the terrain, see if I notice anything out of the ordinary. The trail wound through dense timber and limestone outcroppings. The kind of forest where visibility drops to nothing after 20 yards. Everything smelled of wet leaves and old stone. I had been walking maybe 40 minutes when I found the deer, or what was left of them. It lay half hidden in the brush off the trail. Its ribcage torn open and its hindquarters were untouched. The throat had been shredded, the head nearly hung loose. And almost no meat had been eaten. It appeared that it had just been senselessly killed. I turned around immediately, and that's when I heard branches snapping behind me. Justin. Something large was moving through the woods, keeping pace. I looked back once and I saw black movement between the trees, low to the ground. Too large for a coyote, and too fluid for a bear. And then it stepped into a beam of sunlight maybe 30 yards off the trail. And that's when I saw it. Its body was shaped roughly like a massive wolf, but with weird proportions. Its front shoulders were too broad and its hind legs too long, and its spine sloped unnaturally downward like a hyena. Thick black fur hung in clumps across its frame, patchy in places. Its head was oversized and broad-jawed. and its head was crowned with two curved like horn protrusions, rising from above its ears. Its eyes reflected light, and its mouth hung slightly open and strings of saliva swung from teeth too long for its jaw. And then it screamed. Not howled, it screamed. The sound hit me like a physical blow, and goosebumps covered my entire body. And I ran. I've never moved that fast in my life. Branches tore at my face, roots caught my boots. Behind us, I could hear it crashing through the brush and shrieking in short bursts that almost sounded like it was excited. I burst from the trail into the cabin clearing, with that thing still behind me. I slammed the door just as something hit it hard enough to shake the frame. And then another impact. Wood splintered near the hinges. Then it circled the house for what felt like hours, throwing itself against the walls, scratching at the windows, screaming from different sides of the cabin, trying to confuse me. At one point, it climbed onto the roof, and I could hear claws scraping overhead. And then there was silence. Long enough that maybe I thought maybe it had finally left. But then the power went out, and the cabin was plunged into darkness. And from directly outside the living room, I saw two red eyes level with mine. I stayed huddled in the bathroom with a kitchen knife and a fireplace poker until sunrise. The thing was gone by morning. My car, parked beside the cabin, looked like someone had attacked it with an axe. Doors gouged, windows shattered, deep claw marks raked across the hood. The police came, search teams came, wildlife officers came. They found tracks, damage, blood from where the creature had cut itself breaking the car glass. But no animal, no explanation. Officially, they blamed a bear. They always blame a bear. As I waited for the car rental shuttle to come pick me up, I sat down to catch my breath for a minute. And I noticed the cabin's guest book sitting on the coffee table. I opened it up to a bookmark page. It was an entry from 6 years ago. A woman who described the exact same thing. The screams, the eyes, the clawing. It was written shakily as she claimed that the cabin's owner built the property there intentionally. His grandfather had once owned the land, and he believed the howler didn't just hunt randomly. It returned to places where blood had been spilled. And decades before the cabin was built, a massacre of the local indigenous people soaked that land with blood. The local story, according to the note, was whatever the howler truly is. It's drawn to land where blood has been spilled. It's drawn to violence, to cruelty, to places where something monstrous has already happened. And it comes back again and again. It described the dozens of deep scratch marks carved on the oak tree behind the property that I had noticed when I arrived. Layer upon layer, some fresh, some scratches so old the bark had grown around them. As if something had been returning to that tree for generations. Maybe the moral is that some places earn their legends. Some folklore exists because enough people survive the same terror to give it a name. And maybe the Ozarks howler is exactly what the old mountain families have always said. A thing that manifests where the land is soaked in blood. All I know is this. If you ever find yourself in the Ozarks after dark and the woods go silent, and you hear something screaming in the distance, don't convince yourself it's just a story, because stories don't leave claw marks that deep. And that's the tale of the Ozarks Howler. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Also, if you're enjoying yourselves here, don't forget to give me a follow here. So if you fall off the porch, you can find us again. Hi, spooky bestie. How you doing, cutie? Good night, Miranda. Sweet dreams. Thank you, Raven. Welcome in. Happy Sunday, everybody. Also, feel free to join us tomorrow. I will be premiering. Thank you, Marie. I will be premiering a new story like I do every Monday, live on my YT channel. Thank you, Corey. Live on my YT channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be a fun one. So feel free to join us tomorrow. I will still be here at 10 p.m. tomorrow, but I do a premiere on my YT at 7. And if you guys want to grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and get ready for the night shift at the Sycamore Diner. I'll be right back. Also, if you guys could repost, hit that share arrow, repost, share your stories, all the good things. And thank you for tapping. Love you guys. Be right back. Yes, Code Red, and it's a good one. I picked the topic this week, and it's going to be great. Matt, that sounds so good. A pimento cheese grilled Sammy. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Oh no, you have food poisoning. I'm so sorry, Matt. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through. 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years, but the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. Thank you, Kit Kat. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made the sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. A checkerboard floor, a red vinyl booth, a long counter with spinning stools, even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people? They all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet. Thank you, Gambit. Like I walked in, like they weren't expecting me. Like I'd walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. You get caught in the rain, sweetheart, she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers. Holly, that was so cute. Thanks. I've never seen that. Thanks. I sat down at a corner booth and the vinyl creaked. And I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. Don't be sorry, that was cool as shit, Holly. I love it. And we all know this story by now. I looked around and everyone looked normal, sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes, like they were there but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee, strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going. But now the wind had picked up, and I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit, not even a flicker. Thank you, Skrilla. The food came fast. Too fast, like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, I was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff. Just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was the customer, but like I was in danger. Oh, thanks, Mary. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered. Just once, and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back. The jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. Thank you, Corey. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm. A voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest. I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just wind and rain and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate, still warm and still half eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless. Like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. "The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in." She raised a hand and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer, like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And then I saw it, underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot, like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. 1 second I was inside, and the next, I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, pulled up with the ceiling missing, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows, just nothing. Thanks, Justin. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No 2 Chainz, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone. Not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight and everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article? The same checkerboard floor. The same red booths. The same neon sign. Thank you, Erica. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little, because I know I was there, and I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had, and I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And yes, Andrew. Ow, ow, ow. Ooh, ooh. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with me, Porch Pals. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you can't make it to the YT premiere at 7 p.m., I'll see you guys again at 10 p.m. I'm so grateful for our community. I love you guys so much. You're so cool. And I love spending my evenings with you. I can't wait to show you guys the new story tomorrow. And if you can't fall asleep, oh, there's some corn. By the way, Skrilla pointed out tonight that each one of my chomps is 5 chomps, and I didn't notice it, and he's right. And I don't know why I do that. Yeah, because she gave me 2. I did 2 sets of 5, because she gave me 2 corns, and each time I chomp, I do 5 for some reason. Like, that was 1 is 1 corn cob. And then she gave me 2, so I went again. So it's literally 5, like you said. No, it's no system I had until you just pointed it out. I guess it is a system that I didn't know I had. So yeah, head on over to the YT and there's a playlist called Bedtime Stories that you guys can snooze to. You can hit shuffle or play all and you'll be asleep by like the second one. So head on over there if you can't sleep tonight. And don't forget, stay spooky. Jade. Good night, Cloud Dancing. Good night, Jake. Good night, Michaela. Good night, Sully. Thank you, Gambit. I appreciate that. Sweet dreams, everybody. Stay spooky.